Hi, it's Stephanie. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching my channel. Today we're talking about how to make all of your pants comfy with a yoga waistband. You can put those on easy, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to actually do it. But before I do, I want to tell you why I do this. It's comfort. I just want to be comfortable. Like, I'm shaped where it's like I'm kind of straight, and I'm larger in the middle. I don't have big hips. It's just the shape that I'm born with. And a lot of the clothes in the store, they're like nip in at the waist and go out at the hips. So if I fit my waist, well, I have riding pants. Like, they're just like really big at the hips. So, you know, I just never have been a fan of really tight waistbands. I remember in the 80s when I used to wear a lot of skirt suits, I would take the skirts into the dry cleaners and have them take the waistband off, and they always fit great after that. So this has not been a recent thing. This has been an all my life thing. I just hate having things cinch me at the waist and being super tight. So I figured out I love yoga pants. I wear them pretty much every day at home. I just love them. They're stretchy, they're comfy, and I am a connoisseur of yoga pants. These are my favorite yoga pants. I get them on Amazon. I will put a link in the description because I highly recommend them. They're not expensive. They're just this really nice thickness. So they're thick enough to cover, but not so thick that they're not comfortable. They're really comfortable. And I have bought lots of yoga pants that weren't comfortable, so just saying. So why? Nice and flat, not bulky. I mean, if you've already got a big waist, do you want a bunch of elastic and gathers and bulk around your waist? No, you don't. You want it nice and flat so that it's the less there, the better. So nice and flat, super comfy, and it always fits. So like if I lost 5 pounds or gained 5 pounds, this yoga band would just stretch with me. And honestly, if I'm a little on the thin side, I can fold it in half. You know how you fold your yoga band in half? And it makes it even a little tighter. So very just practical and pretty, like really pretty. So let me just show you a couple of pairs of pants I've already done. And this is a skirt. I actually made this skirt, and in the pattern probably called for a elastic waistband, but I went ahead and put a yoga waistband on it. So I want to show you a picture of that. So that's a skirt. Here's a pair of jeggings, which is what we're going to do today, is a pair of jeggings from Walmart. So this is what they look like right here. You just wouldn't know. But there's no pockets and no fly. So it's like, nothing to get in the way here. So let me show you one that has pockets and a zipper fly that I actually put a yoga waistband on. My favorite trousers. I love trousers. These were nice pants, super expensive pants. So for me to cut the waistband off was kind of like, do I really want to do that? But I wasn't wearing them because I just hated that feeling like you got to suck it in and tie that little button. I was always popping those buttons. The rest of the pants fit great, but that waistband was just a killer. So I took it off and I put this yoga band on instead. Now, when it came to the pockets, I just, let's see, it didn't have any pockets. I take it back. This did not have pockets. But it did have a fly. So what I did is I just zipped it up all the way, and then I sewed it back and forth at the top of the zipper so the zipper would never come undone. I took the zipper foot off and sewed it shut, so this is permanently shut, but there is a zipper in there. It just doesn't work. And then I sewed my yoga waistband. But let me show you these pants on because they just look great. What do you think? I mean, they actually look better now with this yoga waistband than they ever did with the regular one because there's no muffin top, there's no pulling in. It's just a nice smooth silhouette, and oh my gosh, they're so comfy, so comfy. Now, what I will say, there are a few things to watch out for. These pants are trousers and they're thick, so they're kind of heavy. So there is just a little bit of pulling on them. So I do feel like I need to pull my pants up a little bit more often with these on than I would with, say, the jeggings, which you don't even notice. I have done a yoga band on jeans and it just really doesn't work as well because the jeans are heavy. So they pull your pants down basically. And you can make your waistband tighter and tighter until they didn't, but hopefully not to defeat the purpose. So there you have it. Now, I want to talk about the fabric to use for your yoga waistband. You want to go and buy fabric that feels like yoga pants. That's all I can tell you, really. It's just a knit, probably a t-shirt knit, but a little thicker. And I have some here that I got at Joann's. So this is just some fabric. It's not stretchy this way, it's only stretchy this way. But it really could be. It could be exercising fabric, because the yoga pants actually stretches 4-way. The other thing that I use sometimes if I can't find a color I want, or I just don't have any fabric, is I go to Joann's and I just buy these little t-shirts, these camis. Man, they sell these for like $3. So if I buy it, I just buy the biggest size they have, and I have a lot of fabric there, so I can lay that down and get my yoga waistband out of that. So that's one way to go. And it's a little thinner fabric than this, and definitely thinner than this. The other thing you can do is if any of your yoga pants are worn out, take the waistband off of it and use it on some of your pants. Because they usually wear out in like the thighs and in the crotch, but the waistband never wears out. So don't throw those yoga pants away. You've got waistbands there ready to go. Now I like to match my waistband to my pants. So this was a cami from Walmart. I have, like, if they're blue jeany, I have these jeggings and blue jeans. I would use a navy cami. I did all my shorts this summer with this waistband. I was just so comfy everywhere I went. Okay, enough about why. Now let's talk about how to make it. You want to find your size. So if you have yoga pants that you already have, then just lay them out and see. First of all, you want to see how stretchy they are compared to the fabric you're going to use. You know how sometimes the pattern has a little stretch ruler, but you could just take a ruler and say, I'm going to hold this at 1 and 4, and I'm just going to pull it, and it goes to 6 almost. So then that would be your stretchability. And if you kind of mark that down, if you use something like this cami, you're going to find it's going to stretch way more. So we'll start at 0, and we're going to stretch it. That goes to 8. So it's a lot stretchier. So when you make your waistband, if you change the kind of knit between waistbands, you're going to have to change the size. That's all I'm telling you. But if you never change the kind of fabric you're using for your waistband, if it's always the same, then you can use one pattern all the time. But sometimes you just need to adjust. You never know which fabric you're using for what. This is my waistband pattern. It looks so huge because there's going to be 2 of these. But I have a big waist. I know that. So basically I've marked it. So it says cut 2, and then there's my my fabric grain. So I want the grain to be going that way so that the stretch is this way. So I made my own pattern. And I started with my yoga pants. These were not them. It was a different pair. And what you want to do is you want to lay them down, and you want to say, I'm going to need a seam on this side and a seam on this side, and then I'm going to need a seam on this side and a seam on this side, because when I fold it, it's going to look like this. Now, obviously, this one is a little bigger than these pants, and I kind of like to start a little bigger and then try it on. I always like to try it on and then see how it works. So just get some paper and draw out your pattern in a big square. I've pinned some of the fabrics I used this pattern for. If you want to use like the cami and do a different pattern and then do the stretchy, the knit on different pattern, you could have different patterns, or you could mark it in different places and say, this is for the cami, this is how big, and then this is for the knit that's a little bit different. But nonetheless, just start, and bigger is always better than small, because if you make it too small to start, you can't, there's nowhere to go. But if it's too big, you can always make it smaller. You know that, right? Okay, I am going to get my phone and do a little filming close up so you can see me make this. I mean, it is so simple, especially if you use a serger, which I will use. However, I didn't always use a serger. I didn't even have a working serger just a little while ago. So I was doing this with my sewing machine. I just used a stretch stitch or a zigzag, and the same thing. It's fine. It's nicer to have those finished edges on the inside. I like that. But You know, this one has a serged edge on the inside, but I have several pairs that don't have a serged edge on the inside and they're fine. So, in fact, I'll bet these black ones don't have a serged edge. Let's look. They do. I was lucky. So, all right, let's do this. Here's what we have. We have some fabric, nice stretchy knit, and then we have a pair of pants that we're going to alter, and we have some paper to write our pattern on. So again, you want to either find some yoga pants or you just want to draw out a big long square. Once you fold it over, it kind of feels like it would fit around your waist. It kind of hold it up to your waist. And you want it to be something that could, even when you're wearing it, could be folded again. So this would be the yoga band. So I am going to set the yoga band aside and prepare the pants first. These are jeggings that I get at Walmart, and they have a waistband on them. This has a fake fly and fake pockets. If you want to know how I put real pockets in here instead of the fake, I have a video on how to do that. But what I'm going to do, I have gone down this road many times on taking this whole seam apart, and it really wasn't worth the effort. So what I do is I cut it, and then I have these belt loops. So I will use a seam ripper to remove the belt loop, but otherwise I just cut this off. I'm going to cut all the belt loops first to get them out of my way because they're going to be gone bye-bye. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut it till I get to past the actual waistband, and I'm just going to cut close to the edge there. Does not have to be perfect. The waistband is gone. Now I just have these pants. So now what I need to do is remove these, and I don't want a hole there. So I'm going to take a seam ripper and I'm just going to rip out the threads until this is gone. And I'm going to be careful because otherwise there will be a hole there. Now, if you hit a snag, err on the side of the belt loop. So if you're going to rip any fabric, rip the belt loop, not the pants. Kind of hard for me to see at this angle. Usually I'm holding it right in front of my face. Okay, so then I just want to show you that. It's done. Okay, so that's done. So now you just want to repeat that on all your belt loops. All right, I think I have a big enough space here to work. So just double checking my grain is going this way. I'm just going to double check it by checking my stretch. See how stretchy that is? And not so much this way. Can you see that? I was probably not in the video. So to check your grain, of course, it's very stretchy this direction and not so much this direction. Now this is the waist, so we want it to be stretchy that direction. Okay, so here we go. I just feel like it's not showing the whole thing. There we go. The leg of the tripod is in the way, but you can see. So now you want to make sure that you're straight on the grain. And so what's good about having a line is it helps measure that. Let's just pin it. Okay, now we have our yoga waistband. I'm going to go do those belt loops and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the waistband and here's the pants. So let's put them together and have the pants ready to wear, just like that. Now the first thing that we want to do is we want to put these, sew up these side seams. Now you first want to figure out if you have a right side or a wrong side to this fabric. Sometimes with knits it's hard to tell. You just have to make a decision. So I'm going to choose this as my right side and this as my wrong side. So I'm going to take my serger and I'm going to serge these two side seams together. And I will be right back. Serge. So my side seams are serged, and the next thing you want to do is you want to try this on, okay? I just tried this on and it's too big. So I pinched it on each side about this much. So let's just see what that ends up being. Right here is 1.5, and right here is 1. So let's make it 1.25 on each side. So 1.25. So I'm going to mark that. I'm going to mark that and do it again. All right, so now I'm going to make a new seam and I will be right back. My new smaller waistband. So we're ready to attach. First, we're going to fold it in half with wrong sides together and right sides out. Match up your seams. Kind of helps if you fold your seam to one side when you're fiddling with it. Looking good. Now I want to attach this to my pants. The way I do this to make it easy for myself is I divide it into 4 equal sections. And my pants have a center seam in the front. So let me start by doing these, because these will be, well, the side seams you can see. So I need to know where these are. So now I've got my seam right there. So now I'm going to mark my center and my back. One's going to be the center and one's going to be the back. And I'm just going to put a pin. And then I'm going to put another pin right there. Now normally your waistband will be a little smaller than your pants. These are almost the same, but I want them to match. So let's just say that your waistband was much smaller. You would just stretch in between each of the 4 sections and match. And when you're when you're sewing, you would stretch it out. Okay, I'm going to put my pants inside this waistband. So the waistband's on the outside, and I'm going to pin. Now I want these side seams on the side. So I'm going to pin the side seam to the side seam of my waistband to the side seam of my pants. And I'm just going to pin it. Yes, you can use clips. I do use those sometimes. Okay, there's my other side seam to my other side seam. Now, if they don't match, here's what I do. I just stretch it, okay? And then I just walk my fingers into this pin and I pin it. And then if they don't match up, if one is bigger than the other, again, just stretch it, okay? And then just walk your fingers into this center one and pin it to the center. Now, you could just stretch and sew as you go, or you could do another one in the middle. You could just do another pin, right? And just, again, stretch it out, walk your fingers in, and do another pin. It can't hurt to have too many pins, as long as you remember to take them out when you're sewing and you don't break your machine. That's a cautionary tale. So again, I'm just holding these two pins. See, I did that one wrong a little bit. Hold these two pins, stretch out your fabric so that they're equal, and then just walk your fingers in until you find that center spot. Now, as you're putting it through your machine, you just want to stretch each section just enough. Not too much. Don't stretch too much. Just enough to where they're flat. You just want them flat. Now, sew all the way around, and then let's see what we have. Okay, so they are serged on the inside. So this is what it looks like on the inside. That's where remember where I pinned it, just like this. Okay. And if you use your sewing machine, it will be the same with just a raw edge. So there's no problem with that. If you wanted to kind of finish it off, you could do a zigzag stitch or nothing at all. That would be fine. So, how'd we do? It looks like it should be this way, right? Now this is stretchy and this is stretchy, so it works great. But just remember, these trousers are not stretchy, so the waistband works the same. Basically, the pants fit me in this space because they're wider. They're a tiny bit stretchy, but this is way stretchier than this. So that's what you have. Come on, people, let's get comfy. There you have it. Yoga waistband on any pants. They look great. And oh my gosh, so comfy. This is just gonna be a comfy pair of pants to slip on. They have pockets in the back, so with a shirt kind of pulled down over my waistband, they will look like regular jeans, like regular jeggings. You could put this on pretty much any pants. And maybe if your pants aren't, it's not that they're not they're not comfy. Maybe they have an elastic waistband already, but it's bulky because it's got all those little gathers, right? So you could just cut that waistband off, put a yoga band on, and have a nice flat waist, which I love. So I hope that's easy. If you have any questions, let me know. I do this a lot. I do this to all my pants pretty much. So good luck, enjoy, be comfy. I'll see you next time. Bye now.